Good evening, ladies and gents. Welcome to another video brought to you by Total Control Traders. Alright, let's get right into it. So, as discussed in last video that came out last week, as we saw a bounce, I can't remember which day it was, the video came out, I believe it was this day, or whatever this day or this day. But anyways, as discussed in the last video, we saw a bounce starting from the GP, and we discussed about how that reduces the chance of the chart going to that 4200 immediately now, but what we're seeing now, it is a bull trend that has, so the daily trend has reversed back to the bull. As we can see here, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, higher low, and then now it's a higher high. So the daily trend is in bull's favor right now. Now, not to forget about that monthly chart. So the monthly chart, there is still a chance of it looking exactly like this. Let's clean this up here. So as discussed, we're looking at still a potential of this. There is still a potential of this. So keep that in mind. The bounce right now, we can see that big upper wick, very similar. However, we are going to play based on that daily chart. And when we discussed about potential of reducing the potential of going to 4200 being reduced from the bounce of GP, and we discussed about breaking over this short-term wedge. As soon as that is broken, the chances of 4200 on this leg down, this being 1 2 3 4 5, is very unlikely. So we did break over that upper trend line of the wedge. We did close over both trend lines, and now we're seeing continuation of the last couple days, Thursday, Friday. So what is this? Wednesday, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday. Okay, Wednesday was the start of the bounce. Thursday we saw a confirmation. Friday was a follow through, and then Monday, yeah, today was a slight follow through with a V-shaped recovery. So we saw overnight selling and then V-shaped recovery into that 4-hour, now potential 4-hour bear divergence. Already is looking a little bit chop. You could call this bear divergence from the high back here, but I like the 4 hours a little bit better. So from here, if we're to see overnight selling again, this bear divergence may confirm. And from what I'm looking at right now, this is the 1-to-1 extension target from this low to the high to the higher low. 1-to-1 extension target, as well as the 0.786 area. Let's move this forward. So the 0.786 and top of key zone, triple confluence area. So this is a new key zone that we're now watching. So we saw a rejection here. We saw it broke over, became immediate support, and a little bit of a chop around, but we saw a rejection here before another leg down, bounced back up, and another rejection. So this is now a key zone in between, what is this, 44.66 to 44.85. So the chances of what I would be expecting from here is, at the very minimum, a back test. Yeah, a back test of this previous resistance support here, and then chop around a little bit of a support here, resistance again. So at the very minimum, I'd be looking at a back test of this. Let's see if it would make sense to go back to that lower part, that lower key zone, the upper part of that lower key zone. Round button. Let's do a 0.5 as well. No? 0.382? Okay. So based on this bounce so far from the GP, we did get to the 0.786. What I would expect based on that is, at the very minimum, a back test of the support resistance, which is right around that 0.382, before a next leg up, if there's another leg up. Now, let's see, 1, 2, 3, so ABC, ABC. There is a potential for going A, B. Well, we're gonna have to see where this A goes to. A, B, C leg down before another reversal. So tomorrow is gonna be fairly key. I'm gonna be watching for that rejection today I was thinking it's going to be today, but essentially today what happened was the sell, there was no divergence yet, and there was no confluence area where the overnight sell came in. So we did see a V shape, and now we're in that confluence area, triple confluence, most ideal. I am playing bear from here, just a swing trade, just a scalp trade. So let's see what happens overnight into tomorrow. We will probably should see a curl from here. That's what I would expect. All right, next is NAS. Where do we get to on NAS? Broke over resistance. Gonna have to clean this chart up a little bit. So essentially this was an overshot. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's see what the extension target looks like. So we got past the 1-to-1 extension target already. And now this is a new area that could potentially be worth noting. Came across quite a few people talking about it. This is what's called a platinum area, the 0.7. So let's show you guys here. Added this new area 0.707, sorry, 0.707. That's the new platinum area. Noticing some charts reacting to that area as opposed to the normal GP. So let's watch for it. It's fairly close to that 0.786. Okay, and not price wise. So right now I'm not seeing any confluence area from a NAS perspective. Let's clean this up and find a zone that there should be a zone that's now notable. Still not very clear to me, and I don't like how big this zone is, to be honest. You know, you can see rejection here. There's no support back test, and no rejection here. So this is, let's mark this area. This is a very notable price action area at about 15, and my cursor is not working. 15,400 on NAS. If we're to get there, I would anticipate a rejection from there. There's potential for a key zone area to form over here, but we're gonna have to watch. So nothing very notable on NAS yet. As for RUS, now this is the chart we're gonna be focusing going forward for quite some time. Once this upper trend line, this inner upper trend line breaks bull, that is gonna be, actually, you know what, I'll be watching for a daily higher low. I'm gonna make a first entry bullish on RUS on the daily higher low. Ideally I want to see a touch somewhere over here. This short-term trend line along this inner wedge lower trend line, I guess you can call it. Yeah, I will change this one to matching, so it's a little bit more easier to understand. There we go. Inner wedge. Yeah, inner wedge lower trend line, inner wedge upper trend line. So I want to see a touch of somewhere over here, most ideal for first entry. And if we were to go down, I mean, that's still okay, because let's see, that's 3% down. So make sure first entry, do appropriate sizing that you can withstand 3% down. If you're playing leveraged, you know, 3 times leverage like a TNA, then you'd be looking at about 10% down. Make sure to understand your sizing. But from there, if we're to break bull, That's about 4%, so it's middle. You could do a straddle as well, depending on how you want to play this, whether if it's going to be options, leverage, ETFs, or just common shares kind of thing. This I would consider a very ideal area for a straddle. It's either going to be bouncing from here, or it's going to break down, back test this lower trend line one more time. So we've seen 1, 2, 3 supports on the lower trend line already, and 1, 2, immediate third rejection. We could see another, so you know, depending on what chart you're looking at, weekly, yeah, weekly, essentially this is one rejection, so we could be looking at another rejection here, where the weekly we have seen 3 supports already. But regardless, Rus is going to be one of the main focus going forward. Now we are seeing some decent movement on NAS versus Rus lately. So with this breakdown, this bear break of this trend line, let's just discuss QQQIWM quickly here. With this bear break on this trend line, we did not get to that key zone, but we did see decent follow through here. Now, where are we going to go from here? There is a very key price action right here. We see slight rejection, chop around. This is somewhat, no, this is lost. And then rejection here. Support again, so that 166, we're right about there. Price point wise, it does show 166. So with this, my anticipation with this bear break now, I would anticipate tomorrow maybe we'll wick over kind of thing before another leg down. And this upper part of the key zone doesn't seem to have too much reaction, and based on how bearish we are, I would anticipate a lower part of the key zone instead of the upper part. All right, so this is what I'm looking at for QQQIWM, so don't get too excited on your tech plays. All right, today we're gonna do a deep dive on the market. Let's take it. It's been a while, so let's take a look. US dollars. We're rejecting from that very key zone that needs to break bear. Double rejection here. We're now seeing a stall right under it. Double rejection, stall under it. Weekly is still looking okay. We are still trading above the weekly 8. There is some indecision candles up here. And this head and shoulders did not form up, did not play out, so that's good. And this was the neckline we were looking at for the head and shoulders, did not break bear. Now the trend line we're going to need to hold on US dollars is going to be right here. Potential for a rising wedge. See if this works. No, it does not. Channel. Yeah, it's looking more like a channel. Okay. This would make sense. Multiple rejections here. Maybe a little bit lower. Yeah. I can't see, so on the weekly chart we've seen there's this long-term trend line. 1, 2, 3 bounces before breaking bear, immediate back test, and then continuation. So I would consider this lack of follow through in the sense that this broke bear, minimal follow through, double bottom, and now we're seeing bull movement. So in that perspective, on the that was monthly chart. So in that perspective, we're gonna want to see continuation for bullish momentum on US dollars for a back test of this trend line. Now it might be choppy over here, sideways, or it could be seeing here it's choppy action, back test this lower trend line before next leg move up, test again before coming to test here. So that's what I would expect on US dollars. Overall, not concerning for the market. There is no significant red flag. If it does break bow over here, over this area, then we'll take a look. You know, there's potentially a little bit of concern for the market. 95.74. Multiple reactions here, so there must be a zone around here, but yeah, what I can see is actually from here. So shorter term wise, this seems to be a very key zone, which would line up with what we drew here. All right, so that's US dollars. Taking a lot longer to go through charts than what I would ideally want to see. So let's speed things up here. US 10 years, we saw a very nice decent bounce here. Held GP over here, sideways action, bullish follow through. Not seeing any significant trend lines over here. No reaction to this long-term trend line, where we saw multiple bounces. Finally broke bear. Might have to redraw this here. That might make a little bit more sense. Even maybe even over there. So this still works for back here. Right, so this looks like the new trend line. The actual long-term trend line saw a support here, rejection here, chop around, and then now it's support. US 10-year looking like it's bullish overall. Daily trend bullish, weekly trend bullish. No real concerns on US 10 years. And gold, have not looked at gold for a long time. Potential inverse head and shoulders. This is not what we want to see. Huge sell-off. Thursday, today, Friday. Friday, big sell-off. We needed to see the follow through for this inverse head and shoulders. Right now, looking like it's gonna negate unless we see a V-shaped recovery immediately today, tomorrow, going into Wednesday. The chances of the inverse head and shoulders is now significantly reduced now. So gold going down is good for the market. Bitcoin, extremely bullish. New all-time high coming up, 64,854. We're trading at 61,970. And it is a daily bull flag forming with lots of lower wicks. The chart looks amazing. No reason for selling yet. We did see a slight rejection on this GP backtest at 0.5. Held the 0.5. Chart is extremely strong. So let's take a look at what 1-to-1 extension target looks like. And it is right under that all-time high zone where we are roughly about where we are stalling right now. Now, gonna have to give it a couple more days. This is a very nice run so far. Bull flag. Okay, let's actually look at this. Bull flag over here. If we're to look at 8 hours, it'll be a lot easier. Bull flag over here, confirmation. Bull flag confirmation. Slight concern here. And then now bullish movement into bull flag again. There is an 8-hour bear divergence, so a little bit of a cause for concern. That's going to be the RSI trend line that you're going to have to watch out for. If you're in BTC, remember, it does not hurt to take some profit. You have seen, ideally, you've seen at least this whole run over here, at least some of it. If you're not in from back here, at least you saw a majority of this run. That's already a 50-some% move. So Bitcoin is looking amazing. Oil, I know some of you in the chat room as well as YouTube love to look out for oil. So oil is seeing continuation. ABC has now been done, or is it 1 2 3 4 5? Actually, it's looking more like 1 2 3 4 5. So 1 2 3 4 5 here, and now we're seeing 1, potentially 2, and this is a leg 3. So we could be seeing a consolidation into leg 4 before in another leg up. We did still see reaction on this lower trend line, this money line on the way move up. Saw rejection here, saw support here. So if we're to start seeing, consolidation from here, we're going to need another day or two to be able to tell. We could very well go up all the way up here before consolidation. Now if we're to see a consolidation, watch for reaction on this money line all the way from pandemic, bounce, 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 chopped around a little bit, rejection, support again. Okay, so that's oil. Let's go over some tickers. Ideally, I wanted to go over more tickers today, but it looks like running out of time here. Let's get over the most important ones. What I'm going to be watching, the top watches going forward for the rest of the month, as long as the market participates. First one, Tesla. Congrats, Tesla bull players. Oh my goodness, look at this continuation. So the daily trend is still remaining in bullish trend. We are going to be expecting a daily higher low soon. We are in that, getting into that previous all-time high 900 zone. There is that, it's trading at 870 right now. It is a gap up and run, gap up after a gap up and run. So now this is a second gap. Okay, so there's potentially another gap left. Three gap reversal. Okay, we are a little bit extended on the daily. It is increasing bull volume. Earnings is coming up on October 20th. So if you are trading, make sure to take profit before earnings, unless you're okay with your risk, your sizing is not overexposed. So with this, I would always keep a position in Tesla. Right now, there's no reason for selling, aside from maybe a little bit extended from the daily. Just remember, take some profit. I've taken most of my profit on Tesla. Next is that we're looking at is going to be Amazon. So Amazon was one of our weekend top picks, and it is still one of my top favorite charts. Okay, long-term sideways consolidation. Sideways action is not even consolidation actually. So this long-term sideways action, a year and 4 months. Basically 16 months of sideways action. Okay, and this is the double wolf pattern that we have been talking about for quite some time now. So bear break, fake out, breakdown, fake out, breakout, fake out. And remember how we talked about it's going to come back to GP, and some of you didn't think it was going to happen when we were back here. We saw a gap down from that Bezos news, and then now we are at GP. Now we're seeing a double bottom. Very nice bounce from the double bottom. Very nice volume coming in. There is earnings coming up as well, October 28th. So this could be a catalyst to boost this up into new all-time high. Amazon is going to be remaining on top watch. I do believe even if QQQIWM is going to be looking weak going forward, Amazon should see relative strength from here. Double bottom. Yeah, no reason for selling on Amazon. The only I'm still holding it all the way from, I can't remember, it was somewhere a gap down 30. It is green now, somewhere over here. So been holding it for a long time. I was thinking this was going to be the leg up, but I guess essentially the market did consolidate, so we wanted to see a double bottom. This is now giving me even more confidence. The only catalyst, potential catalyst now, is the earnings. So I am still remaining decent sizing, but not oversized until this 35.50, the key broken, and ideally the earnings behind us. That's when I will be going in oversized on Amazon. Next is Roku. Very nice reversal today. We are seeing a daily trend reversal. Oh, come on. Okay. Hate it how, you know, it breaks that groove that you're in when the computer is not responding. All right, so this is all the while. It's been a long time since we looked at Roku, eh? Okay, so that's the low. This did not work out. So we broke bear under that money line now. Multiple supports on this Roku money line. Broke bear, and now we're seeing a daily trend reversal breaking over that key zone, breaking over that 340. We did close at 345, just under 345. Based on the volume, I would anticipate follow through to come. At least for another day or two. So anticipation from here would be bouncing over somewhere over here, daily higher low, before a next leg move up. Roku is looking amazing today. We saw 6% gain. Ultimately, we're gonna need to see that daily higher low to confirm the daily trend reversal. This was a daily bull flag. It was not a daily higher low. So if we were to move all the way up here, we could be seeing lower prices on that higher low. Even back here, even coming back here 318, it would still be considered bullish chart overall. Okay, so that's Roku. Next is AMD. Whew, AMD. Jesus. All-time high coming up. So this is sort of what I'm expecting on Amazon. You know, long-term sideways action. July, it did break bull already. So breakdown, fake out. It actually didn't get back to where I wanted for most ideal entry. Breakdown, fake out, break out. I don't know if I would call this fake out because we did see decent follow through from the breakout. This was a 20% move follow through, and we did come back to back test that previous all-time high. This is exactly what I was looking for. Under 100, did take an entry. It was not oversized entry. It was just somewhat something comfortable, you know, first entry kind of thing. Because I was thinking potentially we can be coming back to this GP, forming that double wolf pattern. So got an entry under 100 and sold it yesterday. Yeah, took profit on Friday. Did not feel like I wanted to swing over the weekend. That trade was very nice on 9 trading days, 12%. It's okay. But from here, what I'd be expecting now that we've broken over this key resistance where we saw rejection here, slight rejection here, immediate passing through. Expectation, when we get to new high, there is going to be a daily bear divergence. Now this is the bigger scheme of things, you know, this is what I'd be expecting, but not saying that's going to immediately reject. So on the short term, there is still plenty of opportunity on AMD. Keep an eye on it. It is going to be on my top watch a little bit later. I think Amazon is more so right now kind of thing. All right, so that's it for hottest tickers. Next ones up are the requested tickers. First one is Macy's. What are we at? 28 minutes. All right, so let's wrap things up here. Macy's, woo, 17%. Have not seen this chart in a long time. Last time we looked at it, the trend line was still yellow. The key zones were still not extended. That might not even be a decent key zone actually. So Macy's, last time we looked at it, I was talking about we want to watch for a back test over here. The expectation, the most ideal entry back test of this long-term trend line, where we saw, come on chart, come on trading view, come on computer. All right, rejection, and breaking over. So we wanted to see that immediate back test for the most ideal entry. We saw that immediate back test. Did not get the entry because I didn't set the alert. I didn't use alerts back then. So from there, that was actually the lowest price since. Low of 15.24. Had you follow through on the plan on a back test of this trend line, because even back here you can see multiple rejections, right? Multiple rejections before an actual break over back test. Oh, what a beauty. What a beauty. 86% already. Oh, I hope someone got in on this. I can't remember the last time we looked at it. Obviously, it's going to be somewhere around here, you know, March 18th, March 19th kind of thing. Most ideal entry, 0.386, lining up with that trend line back test. Whew! I hope someone got in. Anyways, no point looking back. The focus of our channel is to look forward, and let's see what's going to happen. Likely to happen. Potentially to happen. I am seeing a potential of a channel. Maybe not. Actually, yeah, this will work. Weekly channel. Oh, this is going to be amazing if it's actually going to be like this. But then that means we are potentially at the top of the trend line. So let's draw this out. Low over here. Oh, I don't like that. And the upper wick from back there. So there is still some room left. Let's see how it looks on the daily. That would make sense. Is that a double bounce? Almost a double bounce. I don't like it back here. You know, some chop around here. It's not very clear. Okay, yeah, support, rejection. Okay, now that makes sense. And then let's see. I want to draw this as far out as possible because well, not as far out, but I can't see this seeing continuation. Now let's take a look, see if this still works back here. Support, rejection. Yeah, it still works. And for those of you that are new to the channel, I like to take my time when drawing a brand new chart. Just because, you know, once you get the price exact on point, a lot of people don't really care about that, but you know, you get it exact, it really helps. I found that it really helps with my entries and exits to be on point. All right, so we saw wick here, rejection. There is a chance, so I would be watching what the reaction is tomorrow if we were to see follow through. Earnings is coming up as well on November 11th, just under a month. Why does that look so short? Anyways, 3 weeks out on earnings. We can see follow through here. This is a very nice reversal in the sense of monthly chart. Whew. Computer is lagging again. Okay, lower low. Broke over trend line. Is not an official trend reversal on the monthly yet. Weekly is definitely a trend reversal. So I would not enter from here if obviously if you are not in. If you are in, there's no reason to sell. We're just starting that move again. So this move, you see a couple more days of follow through before consolidation. Same idea, we're not too extended on the daily yet, and we did close near that high of day. Tomorrow, if we're to see follow through, there is a chance of what's going to happen from here, looking like immediate break over that upper trend line before a back test. And it could go like this. It could also break over that trend line before a consolidation back test of this previous high. But regardless, from here, I would be watching for a daily higher low. I don't know what the cost of this is. This could be news, you know. Volume looks very decent. Move looks very decent. I don't know if there's news. 18% looks very nice. Watch for reaction tomorrow on that upper trend line. It would be a huge red flag if we were to see first day move. So basically today's move is like 2 days back here and then immediate rejection. That's a little bit of red flag, to be honest. If that's the case, then I'd be watching for an entry on that lower trend line. All right, next is BBIG. Looks like I'm gonna have to cut some ticker short. All right, BBIG, have not looked at this for some time. Very nice move, upper wicks coming in. Nothing very notable on the volume. I think this was a GP hold. No, it was not. Oh, this chart is not easy to look at. Does not respect the fibs, does not respect, there's no trend lines to look at right now. GP is coming up. We're seeing upper wicks from in between GP and 0.5. So if I were in this trade, you know, there's no cause for concern yet. It looks like it's going to form a daily bull flag from here. Watch for that daily 8. Hold of that daily 8 is the most ideal for the bulls. As the way it stands, I would probably place a stop under here. 760-ish. We can see multiple supports here and then became rejections, resistance again. That 767 is very key to hold for those who are in bullish on BBIG short-term wise. Okay, next is UPST. I think the chart was gonna top out. Yeah. So the chart looks amazing from this standpoint. It's been bullish, decent consolidation. Nothing major, not even near. What was this? Wow. So we actually topped out here. The chart is extremely strong. No reason for sale. 0.236. The consolidation of this move essentially held that 0.236. May have lost it by a little bit, you know, closed just under it, but the chart is extremely strong in that sense. UPST continuation, no daily bear divergence. Let it develop. Let it develop. That weekly 8 is going to need to catch up. Oh, we are extended on the monthly 8. So because we're extended on the monthly 8, what I would do personally, I would probably just put a stop on this last higher low and then just let it develop. If it does another daily higher low, you're fine. You know, then another daily higher low. I can't see this chart just continuing to grind up. Use that daily higher lows as your stop loss and then sort of just set and forget kind of thing. Next is ATER. Not a nice chart. It is chopping around the keys. It's not respecting. Well, it lost the key zone. It did respect the key zone. So multiple bounces here. It lost the key zone and now we're rejecting. Take a look at this. We are rejecting from that key zone as well as the daily 8. Lots of upper wicks. I can't see it. So this is a daily bear flag right now. I can't see another leg down before an actual move up. 528%. This reminds me of FD, face drive. A huge bounce into long-term consolidation. We have not looked at that for some time, eh? Huge, look how similar that is. Huge bounce into long-term consolidation. Still rejecting from that 88. Let's actually set an alert on this. Once we break over that 88, there can be a second move. ATER, let's get back to that. Very similar idea. Rejecting the 88, let's set an alert just above that 88. Once it starts moving, there can be another move. And essentially, this is a weekly potential for a weekly trend change right now. We're going to need to see that higher low. So if we're to bounce from here, the chart is, I would consider this chart to be strong. Looks like we already lost the GP. Yeah. We're going to need to hold that 0.786 for any hope of reversing that weekly chart. Okay, so there's a couple more that I wanted to get through. First one being coin. Coin weekly higher high. Closing wise. Actually, even price wise. There's very nice follow through. Bitcoin is seeing very nice follow through. Coin obviously seeing very nice follow through on increasing bull volume. Daily trend is now reversed to the bull favor, as well as weekly trend is now potentially reversing to the bull's favor. We're going to need to see a little bit more follow through before weekly higher low. So on the coin, this short-term trend line, we are seeing reaction to it. Tomorrow we're going to need to see break over into that key zone before a rejection. That would be the most ideal. We are a little bit extended on the daily, so if we were to reject from here, that would make sense as well, and then back test over here before next leg move up. This, from the standpoint of this chart now, that 261 would be most ideal entry. I can't see immediate buy up, V shape too, so that could be a possible scenario. Watch out for coin. Higher prices to come after the 80 higher low sometime. Right, next is FCEL. Woo, played this one today. What an amazing move. So we saw this daily bull divergence from back here, 534. We played it on the break. Well, not on the break. We played it from that daily bull divergence perspective, holding that lower trend line of the long-term wedge coming to an apex. And we saw next day, huge gap up, immediate buy up before profit taking. So a lot of people, obviously this is a key zone, so a lot of people were still looking to get GTFO, you know. So with that, we saw some sideways action before next leg move up. And now we're seeing daily higher low being set, with continuation going forward. What a close today, closing over that key resistance support of 850. Support here, immediately became resistance. Not really resistance. Support back here again and again, and then we never came back ever since. So the daily is quickly, very quickly becoming overbought, but on the chart like this, we can see similar to the last two we just discussed, ATER and FD. Actually, let's see how overbought this chart got. It did not get overbought on the daily. Okay. So on this chart, I would anticipate further follow through. I can see this chart coming into this next key resistance support before a back test. Keep an eye out on FCEL. It is reaching that overbought. On the shorter time frames, should be already in overbought. No bear divergence though. So chart is actually looking very amazing for continuation. Look at this bull flag confirmation. Slightly lost it, but no follow through. Getting bought up towards the end of the day again. FCEL is gonna remain on top. Watch. Don't have a position right now, just because you know the move was fairly crazy, fairly nice today. FCEL. Next is we're gonna discuss a couple more, and then just a general remark of what kind of tickers trading under what indexes I will be watching. But a couple more would be a potential reversal plays being Facebook as well as Zoom. So on Facebook, we're seeing very nice recovery today. We're gonna need to see that daily higher low. So this move, I can't see going Yeah, this actually might make sense. Based on Zoom, we're gonna need to get past that first. Anyways, so we're gonna need to get past 338.84, but based on today's volume and price action, I would anticipate we're gonna get past that area tomorrow unless the market pulls back. So with this potential reversal, no confirmation yet. After a, what is this, dragonfly hammer / hammer. I like it as a hammer a little bit more, but there is a little bit slight upper wick. So with this, I am looking at potential reversal play, but I will be waiting for that daily higher low first. I do not like the news that came out that caused this kind of major drop, and I can see that being a lingering effect personally. That's not to say the bounce is not going to be great. I think the bounce is going to be an amazing play, but from a longer term perspective, would you be willing to hold? So that's what I'm thinking, you know. I would rather play that daily higher low and then looking at reversal kind of thing. Facebook, that is first of the two potential reversal plays. Zoom is the other one. We played this one, which day was it? Is it a Tuesday or Wednesday? I can't remember. But we played it, nearly nailed that top sale there. It did see a rejection from that previous resistance, and now we are seeing very nice bullish action on very minimal bull volume. Tomorrow we're going to need to see that follow through, make a daily higher high. Excuse me, make a daily higher before coming back down to form a daily higher low for that daily trend reversal. But Zoom is looking very nice, held that GP, that very key GP, that key zone. We're gonna need to break over it now and then come back for a higher low. Now this chart somewhat reminds me of Amazon, what it can do. And you look at this, held GP, woo, what a move, gap fill, eh? So, if we're to get that, held GP, immediate move. Okay. Keep your eyes on Zoom. If we're to break over this area, actually, let me set an alert here. I think we might have broken over it today, but early tomorrow there can be a very nice scalp play here on Zoom. We're gonna want to break over, let's say at least today's high. So give me an alert right away tomorrow. Yeah. So with this, we can see follow through, immediate gap fill, just like Amazon. Huge opportunity here. We're looking at about 23% move. It could be regardless of the market condition as well. So keep Zoom on your top watch tomorrow. Right, so that's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed the content. Thank you guys for subscribing, liking, and let me know what tickers you're looking at. Oh, just remember, BA, Boeing. Sorry, cannot pronounce that. There is a potential reversal on that ticker as well, looking very nice as a daily hammer. Anyways, if you like the content, if you know anyone that could potentially benefit from the content that we share, please do consider sharing the channel with them. We're looking at getting to that 250 subscribers for that amazing giveaway that's coming up. Very excited. And one last thing, I will be away for a vacation next week for the first time in 2 years. Very excited. Hope you guys enjoy. No videos next week, obviously. But what I'm expecting after that is schedule's gonna resume back to every second day video. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys in the next video.